will not be silent. We will not obey. We will not allow our government to destroy our humanity. We are the final American revolution. See you next Independence Day.
And that clip was on the morning of July 4th, 2013 in downtown D.C., just a few blocks from the Capitol, where Adam Kokesh went ahead with his one-man march on D.C. To defile their unconstitutional gun ban that was overturned almost 5 years ago in D.C. versus Heller. And I had a chance to talk to Adam yesterday live on the radio for about 20 minutes about why he went and did that, and the fact that his idea to have a march against the globalist occupation of the U.S., or in his words, an end of the federal government, was that successful across the country? I would say yes, it was. So he's calling, I guess, for another move towards informing the public to do this coming up in 2014. And then Adam also brought up the point that, hey, Alex, you know, don't speak for us here and say that we just want to re-upload the old republic and still have a federal government. We want to devolve back to the states or evolve towards more regional governments. Look, my whole issue here is I'm not telling people what we should do. I'm not saying specifically that everybody should follow my ideas. I'm just pointing out our federal government has been conquered by a bunch of foreign offshore banks that are establishing classical tyranny in this nation. Sure, last year it made national headlines. I called for the second American revolution against the globalists to have the states withdraw out of the fraudulent federal government and then make a decision on what we constitutionally wanted to do or what the people wanted to do. So in a way, what I'm calling for historically from a research perspective is pretty similar to what Adam's calling for. So I want to let him today really flesh out what he's calling for. I'm just trying to get a debate going about all of this, and that's why we have him on. That's why we try to give him a forum here with our audience to discuss it. And it isn't a complex issue. This is not simple stuff like Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman distraction of the media or the latest kidnapping. This is a real geopolitical situation we're talking about because the United States, like it or not, is connected to this artificial globalism that's been created. And the globalists might also, this is one of my questions for Adam, use the breakdown of the occupation federal government as a pretext to come in and try to take over the states. So we'll get Adam Kokesh's take on all of that. Adam, thanks for joining us. You heard my diatribe there. Present to us your case, exactly what you're saying specifically, and what type of system you're putting forward, or the type of debate that you're trying to foster.
Sure, Alex, thanks for the opportunity. I really appreciate the chance for this more relaxed conversation and talking about these deeper issues. And as you put it, the geopolitical issues that do come into play when we talk about the revolution that is impending in America. And I just want to reiterate, first of all, what we're saying, and I think you would join me in this, is that we can do things the easy way or the hard way. And the hard way is to keep our heads buried in the sand and wait for the inevitable collapse points and the tumultuous decline of America that may have some violence and pull the rug out from underneath a lot of people in a very dangerous way. The easy way is let's pay attention, let's take drastic action that's appropriate to the situation. Let's really take advantage of this opportunity to move humanity forward. We are calling for the abolition of the United States federal government. And what we replace that with is state government. And it's not that it's to replace everything that the federal government is doing. We're not suggesting that there be 50 NSAs and so on, but that we have a return to that at least local kind of sense of self-government that we once had in this country, and to move humanity forward, because in the ultimate progress, what we're looking for is an evolution towards self-governance. And I believe that that is the inevitable course of human history, and that is our destiny as a species, to achieve self-governance, to achieve a state in which every human being decides that they want to be the alpha of their own lives. And so when we talk about the ultimate goal of abolishing all government, it's to replace it with self-rule and a voluntary, peaceful society. So I understand the considerations for thinking that maybe there are advantages to being a part of a larger government or a bigger collective, but really the way we make progress is by moving power locally and moving it down in the direction of the individual. And so that's what this is about for me. I wouldn't want to cut out 97% of the cancer and say, well, let's just get back to constitutional government, because it's going to grow back. And democracy itself is what we're talking about getting past here. This idea that human beings should pick leaders for each other, and that a majority, by virtue of just being the majority, can come up with an excuse through that and through a government to impose its will on the minority or everybody else, as you know, leads to the kind of corruption we see today. And I would say that that's inherent in the system, because politicians will inevitably promise something other than what they're going to deliver, which is the special interests that they plan to serve. And that's what ends up happening every single time. And until people say, well, we're not going to give this power arbitrarily to any kind of leadership, we're not going to demand our own self-governance, we're going to have all these problems. But right now, we see this particular level of government at the United States federal level coming to some dangerous points of collapse. And I think we can really move people to get behind this simple call. And that's why we're working towards this for next year. What we did this past Independence Day was fundamentally change the conversation by starting people to talk about this. But we're building forces for next year. And one of the most important things people have to get over, Alex, and I think this is an important one for a lot of people that come to this movement through love of country, through love of their fellow human beings, that it's not about patriotism. It's not about love for a collective or love that ends at borders. It's about love for humanity itself, love for liberty, and love for oneself, and the pride of an individual saying, I don't need to be part of a collective to have a healthy sense of myself.
Adam, looking at this, I understand the idea to get towards local government and then individual government. I understand that anything centralized ends up becoming corrupt and bad historically. I'm just trying to get the public to awaken to the globalists, and the quickest path to that is to point out our country has been occupied basically by these foreign forces that are completely above any law and who are the ultimate socialists feeding off of corporate welfare. And so I understand your whole point of the federal government is completely shot, completely corrupt, completely full of corruption, and so let's just get rid of the whole thing. My only point is that the world is so conditioned and the U.S. is so debilitated, and we live in such an artificial construct where our very culture has been rewritten into these systems of collectivism that it's like asking Helen Keller to go out on her first day of being able to make contact with humanity and climb Mount Everest. And I understand that the bold stroke sometimes works, but a lot of times it also misses. And so there's all these specifics of how something would be done. I see a plan in the Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, Constitution to absolutely knock out almost all of what the world has done. And people respect that and understand that and know that. I just don't see us transported through this ultra-libertarian or anarcho-capitalist system you're talking about overnight. What would be the process, or what do you expect to happen if there was some type of Arab Spring here, and then 3 years from now the country is an absolute wreck with all these different power forces fighting with each other in the streets? In every case in history, this will end in a giant physical war.
Well, I think that's one of the great opportunities that we have in the American political system with this concept of sovereign states coming together to form the United States. We can simply get rid of this extraneous upper level of government entirely and still have the basic fundamental concept for how society is organized in government without that higher level of corruption. But power corrupts, and any power that exists has that potential. Anytime people say, well, we're going to abdicate our power of self-governance, we're going to vote for elected representatives, then you have this opportunity for corruption. And you're absolutely right that if we have it at the state level, yes, there will be corrupt state governments. But if we nationalize that corruption, you only create a greater distance from the people and greater sense of power that allow for more corruption. But to answer your bigger question, government is always a product of the paradigm. That is, whatever people believe is what determines what form of government they will have to put up with. And you can look at this through the course of human history. We've actually gone from, law of the jungle, where whoever could pick up the biggest rock was in charge, and maybe that was the best thing at the time. And if you weren't the alpha male of your pack, it was in your best interest for survival to say, well, he's threatening me, I'm just going to go along, and he can bring in the biggest game. I'm going to survive, that's what I'm going to do. But we've evolved in many ways past that. I think people are seeing that. So it's this paradigm shift towards self-government, and I think he's done a lot to really awaken people to the reality of what they are suffering from as a result of the combination of that and the modern technology that's available to modern governments. But what people really need to be woken up to now is the philosophy behind this and what they need to demand for themselves and how they should live as free and sovereign individuals. And if you endorse the ideas that got us to this point, that a democracy or even a constitutional republic is an okay way to create a center of power. And you know what? I love the American founding. Historically, I think it is an incredible step forward in terms of human progress. But the next step is not from, this current, whatever you want to call it, back to that. It's to a new form. And in order to be a true revolution, it really has to be something that is genuinely new. And in this case, it's this idea of self-governance. And I think that's the paradigm shift that's coming right now. And as much as you can say that the Constitution would be great compared to what we have today, or if our government actually followed it, it's still probably the same fallacies that got us to this point that we're suffering from now. And this idea, again, under the Constitution, that we should be picking leaders for each other is the window for corruption.
Sure. Let me just briefly address that. A pure democracy is where 51% of those events on the viewers call to kill the other 49 is done because the majority voted. We're a republic with a Bill of Rights and Constitution, and then within that framework, that is the greatest system ever developed so far. We're in trouble because we've allowed it to be abridged, undermined, and destroyed, because it's only a document with a very moral, active, informed people that basically animate, to paraphrase Thomas Jefferson and other founders. So I'm not calling for people to be voting on what's for dinner. We know that we have an absolutely criminal foreign banking cartel taken over the federal government, expanded it unconstitutionally, and is now using it as an occupation force. And bragging they've done that, and they've done that good. They admit, we've taken over, you will pay all our derivative debts, we're going to break up your families, we're going to build giant prisons, we're going to enslave you, ha ha ha. I mean, this is flaming tyrants. But then you get Peter Thiels and people that say they're libertarians coming in and going, yeah, we'll have free cities out in the ocean and free sub-cities within the U.S. And Glenn Beck says, they'll build the community, they'll have enough power to lobby like the big mega banks do to be outside the taxes and outside the system. So it's these city-states again, going back basically to feudalism. But then if you expand out from that, how do you deal with the globalists that already came through the corrupt government and have the government take the taxpayer-paid for infrastructure, a power plant, waterways, the reservoirs, the institutions, the infrastructure? It's already being transferred to the globalists who aren't free market. They call it libertarian. It's theft. It's fraudulent deal. And so we get rid of the federal government, and now it's a bunch of private security forces running around that already took the country over. I say we take the federal government back, arrest all these criminal globalists. I mean, what structure do we use of grand juries to bring them to justice and literally have our Nuremberg trial? That's what we have to have. And then have a new constitutional convention. Decide, do we abolish the federal government entirely, or what do we do? You say, well, that's groups of people voting on what happens. The average person out there has a 20-point IQ reduction from fluoride on record. It's literally a foaming at the mouth zombie who can't even wipe their own ass. So I'm asking you, these people don't even know how to feed themselves. I mean, it's much more sophisticated than the system that you're even talking about. I mean, we've already...
Great question. Absolutely, it's a very important question, and I appreciate the way that you pose that, Alex. But I would beg to differ just a little bit on the understanding of the Constitution, in contrast to direct democracy, because it's still fundamentally in the same category. If you have a direct democracy, as you say, 51% vote to kill 49%, you still need an enforcement class to carry that out. You need a support system to make that possible. You need the general consent of the public to carry that out. And what we see, even under the republic as we have today, obviously it's not a republic, but under the system it has devolved. Once you grant those powers of democratic representation, that it eventually comes out to how do we allow criminals to get away with as much as society will tolerate? How do we take away the way that society actually corrects for those injustices? And that's the result of the Constitution. That's the result of endorsing these policies. Now, as for the average American, you're absolutely right, and that's why what we're calling for is to elevate the average American. And I think the work that you've done in educating people about gun rights has been absolutely essential in that. And I think that the way that people are waking up to self-governance is key in this. But in terms of the how, I'm really not too concerned about the exact mechanics, and I'm really not too concerned about redistributing the wealth. And I think one of the things that we have to acknowledge if we want real freedom is that we're going to have to give up some materialism. We're not going to ever have perfect justice. We're never going to have a perfect redistribution of wealth based on wealth. That was, granted by government unjustly to some private interest or to some corporation, or whatever the case may be. But that's also one of the advantages of what I'm proposing, is that property can be reclaimed by states and local governments in the process of decentralization. I think really this idea of localizing power is the best mechanism of doing it. Obviously, one of the things we have to do is get people on fiat currencies. Getting rid of the federal government means getting rid of the dollar as the world reserve currency, getting rid of the dollar entirely. And I think that's a key step in the right direction. But when it comes to the imbalance of power and the imbalance of wealth that exists, some of it is just going to have to be, we're just going to have to chalk it up as a loss. And I think if we want to move forward, we're going to have to give up some of that petty desire for perfect justice. However, there is a good mechanism that gets to a point where people are at least allowed equitable access to natural resources. And one of the ways that you can do that when you get rid of the federal government and have the states reclaim all the federally held property within their borders when they secede, is they can then relocalize it again to the county level, and at some point you simply issue shares in corporations that are holding all of that property, and you allow people to sell them or trade them, and that's how you get to that privatization. And it's not going to be perfect, Alex, and this is a very screwed up world we live in, as you do a great job of educating people about, but we have to accept some of the past mistakes in order to move past them without dwelling on this, because
I understand, but the way the complexity of the world works, the way the complexity of the world works is that the organized gangs, the big corporate gangs that set up the New World Order, the ones that have occupied the government,
yes.
What's going to happen to them? Because you're going to get rid of the federal government. They've already bought everything up and taken everything over through the federal government unduly. So now we just get a global government? Because let me tell you what the banksters are doing. They're actually getting rid of government in Europe because they already used it to take everything over, and now they're the government. So I trade out the feds. I trade out the feds for Goldman Sachs?
No, because all of their, and this is again something that is taken care of by the process of localization, and what you're pointing to in Europe is often challenging the sovereignty of the states of Europe in favor of the European Union control, and it's still fundamentally analogous. You understand the mechanisms of this, the way those people work, is if it wasn't for the coercion of the government enforcement class, what they're talking about wouldn't be possible. And so when you can have...
we know wildcat economies grow at 10 to 15% a year. Global economies are basically negative except in certain sectors. Look, I agree with a true laissez-faire, open free society. The problem is they always have a version of laissez-faire that is big insiders who only want laissez-faire for them and nobody else.
Right, and if there is part of this localization process that I'm describing that includes reclaiming property from corrupt corporations that have benefited unjustly from government and the state government at the point of secession decides, hey, there's a facility, there's a power plant, there's something, there's a whatever it is that's in our state that was gained unjustly, it can be reclaimed by the state.
And then what drives that? The state courts?
Yeah, and like I said, it's not perfect, but a move in the right direction.
Oh, listen, now you're talking. They shut down 2,000 more power plants the last 5 years that are totally clean. So they can drop them to China with that's all right. So we arrest the people that run the corporations that did that and lobby for it. That's pure organized crime. And we turn those damn power plants on. See, now you're talking.
Yeah, see, and they take away all these mechanisms of control here, Alex. And
Hey, wait a minute. These guys ain't going to give up, buddy. They're going to be on tour with legions of hitmen. We're going to send them here to kill us. So I'm saying, how do we organize to stop them?
Now, this is the important point here, Alex, because where they get their legions of hitmen now is through government.
But they're going to be offshore bases. Any country that tries to go free, they will then attack from every angle. I'm saying we're not doing this in a vacuum. That's why the founders believed we had to have a limited government.
Well, they also believed that the greatest threat to freedom was a standing army, and that the greatest defense was a well-armed population that refused to be
I agree.
we're working towards. The reason the Japanese didn't invade the mainland was because they'd find a rifle behind every blade of grass. And what we're proposing is a population that refuses to be subjected to tyranny. And when you get to that point, you can't be invaded.
Well, I know this. We're in the clutches of the globalists. Can you agree with me that we're not even talking about the federal government, and that it is more popular to say we have an occupied globalist government by banksters?
Absolutely. Let's take the federal government as it exists away from them.
Absolutely. Did you read? I'm not bragging about it, but I did a lot of research into it. A lot of constitutional lawyers have read it. They said it's very constitutional. It's a very smart plan that the founders would have come up with. Well, that's why I researched what they did. I mean, did you read what I put out last year, my call for a second American Revolution?
I only saw parts of it in the news. I apologize.
Tell me,
No,
baby,
that's
do
fine.
you remember our romance? We used to hold hands like close friends. We made plans, you shoot with me. Every day it felt new to me. Promises that we would keep it started off so beautifully. Spark the fire, you flew to me, and we became everything we ever wanted to. I quit the game, and the only thing I want was you. But things changed, rearranged our emotions, and that was strange, cause I don't know where I'm going.
I think you might actually get what you're talking about.
I think there's only a slight difference here, Alex, really, and I think this conversation has really gone as honed in on this minor tactical difference between what we are talking about. And you all say, well, if we do this and we create this mechanism still at the federal level, we can correct certain problems. And I agree. Your plan would have that advantage. If you said we're going to reclaim the federal government and we're going to use it for justice and we're going to do X, Y, and Z, the only disadvantage of that and the danger in that is then you are still relying on a great central authority that really can be corrupted.
You're saying I shouldn't use
All I know
the
is
ring of
in the
Mordor.
end,
You're
you're
saying
the one that loses. I trusted you. Trust me,
I am
you
saying
play me
what
like
you
a
are
dummy. Had it something so beautiful, suddenly it becomes so ugly. Now I'm going.
localization, pushing the power down, and all of the aims that you are looking for can be achieved at the state or more local levels.
Well, you know, every time you're on, I see comments and stuff like you say, well, what about all the federal money? They really don't get that money's local money. It's all fiat. That's energy centers. Energy stolen from the states, expropriated basically global currency, and they give us a little bit back with strings in them.
And it's disgusting that people don't get that, but you're right, it's collectivists who believe in the economic fallacies of our central government. Keynesianism, essentially, that, you know, the government can create wealth out of thin air. And, you know, just today, I'm sure you covered the New York Police Department gas attack, that, you know, $3.4 million to study how gas moves through the subway system in New York. And what's offensive to me about that is not that it's used to scare the people or to make you think, oh, you need government to protect you. It's $3.4 million that if not spent by government, would be spent by the people to meet real human needs. And to me, that's
And then it's given to a firm that's a buddy of the insider. So I mean, this whole complex, look, it's clear. I see like the Washington police I saw just 10 years ago driving home.
suggest, going back to the distinction between what we're proposing, the specific advantage of what I'm talking about. Because when you say we're going to retake the federal government, you suggest then you need a national leader, you need some national management of this new government, you need everybody in the nation to somehow agree on a plan. And what I'm suggesting of simply returning all of that authority immediately to the states has this great advantage of being able to unify people who are of vastly different opinions. They don't have to wake up, they don't have to agree with us philosophically, they don't have to think about what we are proposing or what we believe in. If they know that they are going to get better governance the closer it is to them at the state level, where it better reflects the needs of their community.
Yeah, but let me expand on that. Look. In the plan I put forward, this is based on a lot of historical research and things that others have put out there, great minds. I actually say and that states should secede to point out that it is not even a real federal government. So I just end that debate. And then if the states decide, because we're now the people in the states, we're deciding that we want to get rid of the federal government, then there is a plan developed to do that, but in the process we've already withdrawn our consent and checkmated them.
Well, let me ask Alex, if you saw that the 50 United States that we have today were completely independent, do you think there would be a possible political process for you to get 50 state governors to agree to the same thing, to come on board on the same plan? I think that's a much greater challenge, and it's very unrealistic, but it also suggests that we're going to get people back into this giant collective.
Well, we did it in 1789. I mean, listen, maybe we wouldn't do that. The whole point is the Declaration of Independence is it's our right or duty to abolish the forms we become accustomed to.
1789 was a step backwards from the Articles of Confederation.
I agree with you. Listen, hey, I'm trying to go with something that I believe people would actually, we're already occupied by the New World Order, and they're trying to mop up the free press and shut down whatever's left. And in a way, your radical plan is great because it moves the Earth's window so far towards liberty, then it makes my plan sound modern. So in a way, we're kind of doing what the Marxists do, where they say total communism, kill everybody, and then the socialist just goes, no, only collectivize 90%. So I mean, regardless, it's a good discussion to have. It's just that it's like Ron Paul has said, so much of the public is so collectivized and so sadly demoralized.
Challenge that even. All we have to convince them at this point is that the mechanism of the federal government is not in our best interest, and it would be pretty hard to argue against that now.
Let me get on your subject for a moment. What do you see happening as all the NSA spying comes out and as the government running Al-Qaeda now comes out? I'm not going to do my horn, it's just that everything I've talked about, my just straight up analysis of the situation, the experts I've talked to, has now been proven.
Oh yes, I saw it coming too. I'm sure your analysis goes way further back than mine, but I've seen since I was an activist in 2007 that everything was being recorded, and it's not hard. I mean, it's not that hard to predict when you see the technology available that governments are going to use.
Exactly. So the government's in a technological build-up against us, knowing that collectivism and centralization always fails. They've said they call it the final revolution, where they're going to amass such tyranny we never escape. I mean, you read this stuff by Bertrand Russell and people; they really are crazy control freaks. My question is, how do you really see all this playing out, and what do you expect to come from doing things like going down and locking and loading in front of Gavin?
That's a great question, Alex, and it really does feel like we have the destiny of humanity in our hands right now. Not just you and I, but all the people that are addressing these issues and are looking at this, and it does feel sometimes like it could go one of two directions, either to freedom or fascism. And I have such great faith in humanity, having seen how we've already progressed forward, that although we seem to go 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards, and we're in the middle of a big step backwards right now, I really believe we are on the verge of a major step forward. But it's going to take a lot more. It's going to take a certain awakening. But I believe that technology is fundamentally empowering. And as much as it empowers government and as far ahead as they can get, the distribution of that technology is also accelerating. I'm sure you've heard the analogy that, with cell phones, that the technology that, or the information capabilities that President Clinton had when he left office in 2001 are now surpassed by, Bushmen in the desert a smartphone in his hand. And in that sense, the technology is also distributed a lot faster. You know, it took, decades before the printing press had a worldwide impact. So I believe that technology is empowering, and empowerment leads to liberty because it leads to the assertion of self-ownership. Now, just yesterday, to answer your original question about the spying, I went to the White House, and it was in between interviews I had in D.C. with the mainstream media ditto heads. And I took some time out to do some man-on-the-street interviews, and I wanted to ask people how they felt about being spied on. And my brilliant girlfriend suggested that I ask people for their cell phones. And so I went up to people and started with, hey, what's your name, where are you from, what are you doing here? And then, can I have your cell phone? I put out my hand. And I interviewed at least a dozen people, and every single one of them questioned as he was handing me a cell phone, and I didn't answer, I just ignored it and kept going. Every single one of them handed me their cell phone, and I just started going through it. Oh, you got a text from so-and-so? That sounds suspiciously terroristic. I'm going to have to put this in my pocket, take it back to my studio, and download it for you, and we'll get it back. It's for your own safety. And humanity really, again, the paradigm determines the system of government. And also, there was one thing that Marx got very right, which was that technology determines systems of social organization more than any individual political will. So I really believe that with or without us as individuals, humanity is evolving to this point. And when we get to this technological state where everybody has access to this technology, and remember, millions of people throughout America even don't have access to this technology, let alone know how to use it or apply it or to see the implications or to listen to great productions like the InfoWars Nightly News with it. But already, many people are waking up more than ever before because this technology allows people like you and I to do it.
Everybody gon' know you are my girl.
Now, find a new rival. Welcome to the world of the street. Yeah, I've been waiting here for the battle. Are you ready? Go! strike. Now.
I'm looking at